you doing? Okay, so I decided that I quite fancied making a trailer for my RC car, my crawler, to tow my sand car. It'd be quite cool. So I recently ordered, to do this, a leaf spring kit. I was talking to a fella that I know online, and he posted up a picture of a trailer that he had, and he had leaf spring kit on there. I thought, oh, that's cool. So I says to him, oh, I've been thinking about doing that. Gonna make some leaf springs, because I saw a video that this fella did making leaf springs with like windscreen wiper steels, the spring steel in the windscreen wipers. I thought that was quite clever, quite fancy doing that. So I said it to him, and he just was like, mate, just go and buy a set, you know. It's very nice to make things, but when you can get them for like 10 quid, a set of 4 leaf springs with an array of, you know, you can take these out and make them stronger or weaker, whatever you want to do with them, and you've got your shackles and everything, because I was going to whittle them out of aluminium blocks, you know. It's just much easier. So I did that. I ordered them and they turned up the other day, which is fantastic. So I popped up to a little hardware store that local to me, and picked up some bits and pieces too. I had a vague idea of what I wanted, but not like specific. First thing I got was some aluminium channel section. So like a C-section channel for the outer edges of the frame of the trailer, 2 bits of that, and then I got some solid as well. And what I got them specifically for was because they fitted perfect for my shackles, like my shackle holders and things. Oops. So there's some solid there that I can use to bend around. And then I've got the open section that I can use for around the outer edge of the trailer and whatever other bits I need. And then finishing wise, I thought, well, we'll go for a bit of strength with it, and get a bit of piece of ply. So a bit of ply, 5mm I think it is, I'm not entirely sure. And then for the top layer I got a funky piece of checker plate. It's like micro checker plate, sort of scale size. It's actually quite edgy as well, so it should provide a bit of grip. But more to the point, the C section fits on that quite nicely. Like so. And I've got plenty of it in case I make some mistakes. Now I don't really know exactly what my plan is, other than a basic idea of what I want it to look like. So I'm just going to start. What I think I'll do is I'll get one of my cars on the table, get a basic size in, and just start cutting miters with the C section. Cut a plate out. I don't know whether I want it to have like 2 runners with a gap through the middle, or whether it's just going to be a solid bed. I don't know. I also got some threaded bar. The other thing that I got, which actually made me decide to make a trailer, was a friend of mine who misordered a set of wheels, and I thought, well, they'd be great because they're just slightly smaller than the car wheel on my truck and on my other car. They look alright, and thought that they would be ideal for a trailer. So, ding, ding, ding. And this is the car that I'm going to tow with it. It's quite wide. I think it's wider than my truck. I can't quite remember how wide this is. So it's 18 inches, 330mm. And my truck is 10 inches, 250 mil. So the car is a lot wider than the truck, which means the trailer's got to be a lot wider than the truck. Which is the only thing I don't really like about it, but I suppose I could make it 10 inches wide. And let the wheels hang over the sides, but it's saying it's got less catch than it has hangover, so which I don't really want that. Maybe I can sort of go halfway with that, go 11 inches or something. It's only a bit wider than the truck then, and it's got plenty of scope for that to sit on the sides. So I reckon that's probably what I'll do. Right down here. And see how we go. Okay, so now we've got a base, wooden base, so that's going to give us a bit of strength. I'm sure this would have been fine on its own, but having the wood there is easy to screw things into on the bottom without popping through the end of out the face of the metal. Right. I've got to cut that to length yet. I was hoping that that length there, sliced off, would be ideal for some arches. And because this is wider than I would have liked it, I don't really want the wheels sticking out past the trailer with their own arches on. It's sort of wide enough as it is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pocket out wherever I decide the wheels are going to come, probably about 2/3 back along this line here somewhere, so 1 and 2. I'm going to pocket out the edge so that the wheels can sit within the boundaries of the edge of the trailer. So I don't want it to get caught on rocks and stuff. If they're sticking out on the side there and you're trying to get past something and they're just catching stuff all the time. So I'm going to slice out a section here where they're going to go, and then I'm going to form up a ribbon of this checker plate as a wheel arch that sits in it, and hopefully these will just kind of, depending on the leaf springs, I might bend those leaf springs around a bit, but I want it so that they can travel up into the trailer. So they're not actually going to be that high, I don't reckon. It means that obviously the car's got to drive over it when it goes onto the trailer, or get pulled over it with the winch, but I don't think it'll be a problem. I think it will look neater that way rather than sticking out on the sides. It'll be actually within the boundaries of the trailer. So I'm going to figure that out for a minute. So we're halfway through getting this trimming around the edge. I'll cut that one off there to match this one then, and then I'll come around the back and do the same thing. I decided to keep the corners intact. I didn't, you know, everything that you can keep intact, it's just stronger that way. It's less likely to come peel, you know, one strip peeled off or whatever. If it gets a knock on these corners, it's not going to whip it off like so. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I was concerned about it being going to be too heavy, but it's not. Alright, there's more bits to go on it yet, but it's a reasonable weight. And you want it to have a little bit of weight, but again, not too much weight, but a little bit of weight, that it's actually going to sit well when there's nothing on it, you know. It's going to make the tyres sit into the floor and stuff like that. That's cool. Keep going with this and come back again in a minute. Alright, what I've done here is I've cut myself some shackle mounts for my suspension. and I'm preserving material here because I don't know how much I'm going to have later for other bits and pieces. So the wheels are sitting in there. I've kind of marked out my axle lines and I've marked out my shackle mount points. So you've got one set that runs there, crosses over this one. What I've decided to do is I've got a singular mount here for my moving end, the pivot end, and then I've got a double mount here. Now if the one that's up front is going to sit on the inside, so that's going to get bolted on there like that, and then the other one that's following behind it, it's going to fall over, so I'll take it away. I'm going to turn that inside that way, so that it can go past that mount and sit on up the inside of the other one, like that. Well, so what I need to do now really is I'm just going to round off these edges a bit more so that they look a bit better, because that doesn't actually need to be that wide. I'll round these corners away, drill my holes through, drill 2 holes in the bottom, you can screw there then, and the same with these then, get my positions in, I'll put a screw there, there and there, screw these on either way, and these can be mounted then. I'll crack on with that. Oh, I made all my little mounts. Couple of wobbly holes, but I think it's going to fuss too much about it. All my shackles. There's a lot of holes there when you count them up. I was like, oh, fingers are burning. But you're alright. Stick them all together then. Right, I've mounted one set of springs on this. And because of the size of the shackles and stuff, it seems very tall, and also completely underestimated how much travel these springs would have when they're flexing. If you watch it, almost goes 10 mil, nearly half an inch off to the side, and if my wheel was on that, it's almost definitely going to, if it was mounted up here where I kind of want it, going to hit that, which is okay because I can take that out more, but I don't really want to, and I also want to get over this problem, because even if I mount the wheel top side of that leaf spring, it's still way up in the air when I actually want it somewhere like this. But the crossover effect works, one inside of the other. That works fine. So I'm wondering what to do now. I wonder whether I can shorten these links somehow so that it's not swaying quite so far. But then obviously I'm going to lose the flexibility in my springs. If that was, say, mounted on this middle hole, if I drilled that middle hole out, I'd have less flex. But it might not be a bad thing, because there is quite a lot of movement to be had there, and it's either that or I sort of mount the tail end of this lower down, do away with these links that they give you and mount it straight to the aluminium C section. Not sure yet, I'll have a think about it. have a think about it.